Hi, I'm Archana. In this presentation, we will learn about Oracle Database 18c PDB modes and settings. PDB Open Modes. So a pluggable database can be opened in the read-write, read-only, migrate, or the mounted modes. The read-write mode allows for queries and user transactions on the database. If the database mode is set to read-only, then only queries are allowed. No changes can be made to the database. The migrate mode is used for database upgrades, and the mounted mode allows for cold backups. It allows no changes and is accessible only to the DBAs. Read-only and mounted modes. When a database is in read-only mode or in a mounted mode, only a DBA can connect to the database. Common users and roles can still be created, modified, or dropped. When the pluggable database is opened, the changes are applied to that particular database. When a pluggable database is opened, the database checks its compatibility with the root container. If any errors are found, a warning is written to the alert log. The database is opened with restricted session. A user with a restricted session privilege can connect to the database and resolve the errors before the database can be opened for read-write. Modifying the open mode of a pluggable database. The alter pluggable database statement can be used to change the mode of a pluggable database. As you can see, the database can be opened with read-only, read-write, upgrade modes with restricted privilege. The instances clause can be specified if the mode of a pluggable database is being changed for all the instances in a real application clusters environment. The instance list can contain comma-separated names. When the open option is specified with no other clause, read-write mode is the default. Modifying the open mode of a PDB. The open mode of a pluggable database can also be modified with the SQL+ startup command. The database can be opened in various modes such as force, upgrade, restrict, read-write, and read-only. As can be seen in the example, startup pluggable database all restrict opens all pluggable databases in current container. The open option can be specified either with a read-write or with a read-only option. When the open option is specified with no other clause, read-write mode is the default. If a standby database is opened with the restricted option and neither open read-write nor open read-only is specified, the database is opened in the read-only mode. Preserving PDB state on a CDB restart. The start mode of a pluggable database can be preserved using the alter pluggable database save state command. The save state command needs to be run only once. It reduces the chance of leaving one database down when a manual restart is required. For a real applications cluster installation, the instances is equal to all option should be used to preserve the state of a PDB in all instances. Privileges required to start PDBs. To start a PDB, the user must have specific privileges such as sysdba, sysopper, sysbackup, or sysdg. As can be seen in the example, the user would specify connect as and then issue the startup command. Shutdown or close PDB. In order to shut down or close a pluggable database, the alter pluggable database close command can be used. This command can be run from within a PDB container or from root container. The instances clause can be specified to shut the PDB in more than one instance or a specific instance. As seen in the example, the alter pluggable database PDB1 close immediate instances equals rack-inst1 and rack-inst2 closes the PDB1 pluggable database on rack instances rack-inst1 and rack-inst2. Let's see how to change PDB settings. Many database settings can be changed using the alter pluggable database command. A data file can be brought online with the data file online clause as shown. The statement alter pluggable database PDB1 data file /data3/oracle/pdb1_01.dbf online will bring the data file online. To change the default temporary tablespace for a PDB, use the default temporary tablespace clause. So alter pluggable database PDB1 default temporary tablespace PDB1_temp will change the default temporary tablespace for pluggable database PDB1 to PDB1_temp. An alter pluggable database PDB1 default tablespace PDB1_tbs will change the default tablespace for all new objects which are created in the pluggable database PDB1 to PDB1_tbs. The default tablespace type for a database and storage limits can also be altered. As an example, the alter database set default tablespace to big file tablespace will cause any new tablespaces in the database to be created as big file tablespaces. The storage settings can be changed as shown. Alter pluggable database PDB1 storage max size unlimited specifies that all tablespaces which belong to the database PDB1 will have the maximum size set to unlimited. The storage unlimited clause specifies that the storage for the tablespaces which belong to the PDB1 database have unlimited storage, and also that the maximum shared temporary area that is used by sessions connected to PDB1 is unlimited. The logging attribute, global database name, and various clone database settings and standby database settings can also be changed with the alter pluggable database statement. Let us consider the examples shown on the screen. The alter pluggable database statement with the PDB1 enable force logging will force the logging of all operations on the database. One can also specify logging or no logging at the tablespace level. However, the database setting overrides the tablespace setting when evaluating both the settings. Alter pluggable database PDB1 rename global_name to trainingdb.domain.com will rename the global name of the PDB1 database to trainingdb. The initialization parameters of a pluggable database can be modified just as one would for a non-CDB database. Only some of the parameters can be modified for a pluggable database. For a complete list of parameters which can be changed for a particular PDB, the SQL query select name from $system parameter where is PDB_modifiable is equal to true can be run inside a PDB container. Initialization parameters can be changed with the scope of memory, SP file, or both. When a parameter is changed with the scope of memory, the parameter is changed in the memory only. It reverts back to the original value upon an instance restart. The parameter changes with scope is equal to SP file persist through restarts. When the scope is equal to both is specified, the value of the parameters is changed in the memory as well as in the SP file. Modify PDB setting considerations. To modify the settings of a PDB, the user must be in the PDB container. Table spaces cannot be taken offline when the database is in the read-only mode. Data files can be taken offline when the PDB is in the read-only mode. Changes to the PDB settings require the user to be in the PDB container. Let's watch a demo on changing PDB modes and settings. So if I want to view the state of my PDBs, I can run this show PDBs command. When the PDB is in the mounted state, common users and roles can still be created in the root container. The changes are applied to the pluggable databases when they open. Create user C##DBA identified by password is now creating a common user in all the containers. To verify if the common user has been created in the PDB1 container, I need to set it as my current container. Start up the database to check the users. And I'll do a select username from DBA users where users name like C##DBA. As we can see, the common user has just been created. Let's change the PDB1 to some other modes now. I'll do a shutdown image it. And let's open it in restricted session. Verify. As we can see, the restricted session flag is set to yes. To stop or close a PDB, I can run the close immediate. I can enter the close immediate clause. And as you can see, the database has now been closed. Now we can open the database in the upgrade mode. And the database has now been opened in the migrate mode. As discussed earlier, when a container database is first started, the pluggable databases in that container are not started and they are in the mount mode by default. If for some reason you would like to save the state the pluggable database was in before restarting the root container, it can be accomplished with the save state clause. Now let me restart the root container to verify that the state of my pluggable database was the same as what it was before I entered the save state command. I'm starting it back up. To verify that the state has been saved, I'll run the show PDBs command. As we can see, the pluggable database is in the same mode it was in when we saved its state before the root container restart. To unsave the state of a pluggable database, the discard clause can be used as follows. Let us now see the various PDB settings which can be changed. One of the requirements is for the user's current container to be the PDB which is being modified. So I'm setting my current container to PDB1. And I'm going to try and see the contents of my database. Now I'm creating a temporary table space pdb1_temp. And to change the default temporary table space for the database, I can use the default temporary table space class, and I want to make the new table space I just created as the default temporary table space for that database. I can also change the default table space type. So if I say alter pluggable database PDB1 set default big file table space, then any new table space which is created in the PDB1 database would have its default type set to big file table space. To modify storage limits, I can enter the storage max size unlimited clause, and this command will change the limit for all table spaces in PDB1 to unlimited. By specifying storage unlimited, it specifies the unlimited storage for the table spaces which belong to the PDB1 database, and the maximum shared temporary storage for all sessions connected to PDB1 is unlimited. To change logging mode of a database, I can specify force logging. This tells me that my database is already in the logging mode. So let's try and disable the force logging and then enable it again. To change the database global name, the rename clause can be used. This changes the global name of the database to trainingdb.domain.com. Similarly, initialization parameters can be changed for a pluggable database. And to get a complete list of the initialization parameters which can be changed for a pluggable database, I'll run a command that says select name from system parameter from v$system_parameter where is PDB_modifiable is equal to true. This will give me a list of parameters which can be modified. As we can see, there's 195 parameters which can be modified. So if I would like to change, for example, the SGA target of the database, I can use the alter system command set SGA target is equal to 1G with the scope of memory only. This will change the SGA target for the PDB1 database to 1 GB with the scope of memory. When the PDB is restarted, the setting will override and it will reset back to whatever it was. This brings us to the end of this presentation. For more information, please refer to the Oracle books online and don't forget to subscribe to my channel. Thanks for watching.